Welcome to the Q&A episode for Gameweek 36. Devanch asks, is it still worth keeping Alonso because of the double game week, or is his time up? Very good question, and it's a tough one, because now that Emerson has come in and done okay as a replacement, we can't be certain that Alonso will get both games in the double game week. With Man City assets understandably proving popular this week, the temptation is to use Alonso to raise funds for the likes of Sterling or Jesus. But the alternative is holding off for one more week, perhaps even saving a free transfer if you have no other pressing issues. And that will allow you to react to the Man City lineup against West Ham, and also see whether Emerson puts in another good performance against Swansea. Although I'm still not sure it will become clear whether Alonso starts both in the double game week. So if you have plans for what to do with the extra cash, I do think selling Alonso is an option. Felix asks, what to do with Mahrez? Keep the faith or transfer him out for a Man City asset? Mahrez has come very close to points in recent weeks. He had two really good chances to score against Burnley in the first of Leicester's double game week fixtures, where Nick Pope pulled off some incredible saves. But the temptation to swap him to a Man City midfielder is very strong, and if you have no other pressing issues and it's a free transfer, it looks like the ideal move to make. The only potential risk, of course, is rotation with those Man City assets, and there is an argument for holding off to see what Pep does against West Ham, and then reacting to that, to try to second guess which players will get the most minutes in the double game week. Amunpal asks, if you were wildcarding this week like originally planned, what would your team look like? Quite a few people have asked to see a draft wildcard team for Gameweek 36, with a bench boost in mind for double Gameweek 37, which was of course our original plan before using the wildcard in Gameweek 33. The main difference here would be that you could gamble on Man City players. Jesus and Sterling look like the key ones to get in, possibly a third somewhere too. 3 Spurs players also look handy with their kind fixtures, and given the fact that Smalling started all 3 games last week for Man United, he'd come in for Vertonghen to allow a triple up on Spurs attack. This draft is assuming Mohamed Salah is not named in the starting lineup this weekend, but if he is, you'd maybe have to find a way to upgrade Ali to him. Kennedy and Jordan Ayew make a good rotation pair for the 7th attacking spot. You could give Kennedy the game against West Brom at home in Gameweek 36, Jordan Ayew the home fixture against Stoke in Gameweek 38, and of course play the bench boost in Gameweek 37 when they each play twice. Koala Lee asks, have Vardy and Kane up top? Is Jesus necessary? If you were to pick 2 forwards now with the remaining 3 game weeks in mind, you'd almost certainly go with Kane and Jesus. But that doesn't mean keeping Vardy isn't an option, and if you have both Mahrez and Vardy, you may want to keep one of them and sell the other for a Man City asset, to hedge both ways. Vardy is more consistent than Mahrez of late, with 4 goals in the last 5 games, but even when he scores, it's usually only 6 or 7 points that he returns. And historically, Mahrez has been the more likely to get a double-digit haul, and I still think he has the higher ceiling. Rahul asks, I have 3 chips, wildcard, triple captain and bench boost left for the last 3 game weeks. How should I play them? In that situation, I think you have to use the wildcard for Gameweek 36 really, because that's when it'll have the most impact. The players you select are likely to be strong options for all 3 remaining game weeks, so there's not really any reason to save the wildcard any longer. You could use that to set up the bench boost in Gameweek 37 potentially, although both triple captain and bench boost could work well there. Personally, I'd like to use the triple captain chip in Gameweek 38 in your situation, most likely on Salah or Kane, especially if the race for the golden boot is still on. They've both got home fixtures against Brighton and Leicester respectively, so that could definitely work, and it frees you up to use the bench boost in double Gameweek 37. And the final question for this episode comes from Hussein, who asks, best triple captain options for Gameweek 37. In terms of the fixtures, Spurs and Man City are likely to be our go-to teams for captaincy options in double Gameweek 37. Spurs face a West Brom side that have little chance of surviving now, sitting bottom of the league table, before welcoming Newcastle to Wembley for the 2nd fixture, a side that are safe from relegation and will have little to play for. Harry Kane is the obvious option from Spurs, and he'll of course be chasing down Mohamed Salah in the race for the golden boot. But Man City offer an alternative with those back-to-back home fixtures against Huddersfield and Brighton in double Gameweek 37. It's just a case of whether or not we can trust any of their players to play both fixtures. Is Gabriel Jesus perhaps the safest bet there, with Sergio Aguero sidelined? Even then, we could see Pep use a false 9 in one of the games. But regardless of rotation, the Man City players will all have a high ceiling, given how many goals they're capable of scoring, whether they get 2 full games or not.